I was scared of dentists in the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. I like my friend turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Oh, when they come unstuck, lady running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left arm. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. There's this movie that I think you'll like. This guy decides to quit his job and heads for New York City. This cowboy is running from himself, and she's been living on the higher shelf. Oh, when they come unstuck, lady running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left arm. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, I just gotta know if you're gonna stay. You just gotta know. 'Cause I can't have it any other way. Well, I swear she's destined for the screen, the closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, and they come unstuck, lady running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side. I wanna be your left arm. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat 'cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Weep for yourself, my man, you'll never be what is in your heart. Weep, little lion man, you're not as brave as you were at the start. Rate yourself and rake yourself and take all the courage you have left. Waste it all on fixing all the problems that you made in your own head. But it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time, didn't I, my dear? Didn't I, my dear? Tremble for yourself, my man, you know that you've seen all of this before. Tremble, little lion man, you'll never settle any of your scores. Your grace is wasted.
All right, time to be quiet, Cog. Hey everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome to the Happy Hour, Operation Distraction episode 6 of the lockdown. I am here tonight with my ever funny and slightly sometimes interrupty co-host, Kev. How you doing, Kev?
Oh, am I allowed to fucking speak now?
This time now.
Jesus.
For a little while.
Anyway, yeah, I've been chasing foreigners.
Yeah, do you want to explain that comment in a little more depth to people before they think that they need to order restraining orders on you?
It sounds very racist. It's actually very anti-racist, bizarrely. Doing a history video, it's about a South African thing. So as you might imagine, race is an issue.
Kind of. South Africano.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do a history video on South Africa without race. I mean, it would be ridiculous. It would be like doing a thing about the moon without the moon or something. Anyway, yes. So I needed there's quotes in there, which I've always specifically put in there. A, because it adds historical context, and B, it breaks up the monotony of just me speaking to you for half an hour.
Mm.
So two of them are one's from a guy. South African names are amazing. Boer names are fantastic. Pieter Leroux, and one's from Balthazar Johannes Vorster.
Balthazar? Really?
Balthazar Johannes Vorster. He was a
Wow.
former Prime Minister of South Africa. He was very racist. Anyway.
All right. Well, with a name like Balthazar.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to offend a lot of Balthazarians now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a
But he
cat
was
in
more
my-
offensive than I am.
But anyway. And just for historical context as well, my two favourite South African born names ever, both sportsmen. Roelof van der Merwe, amazing. And
That's just noise.
The almost sarcastically South African name of Joost van der Westhuizen.
That's just consonants.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. What the fuck? Anyway, and also I found out I was in my fucking ridiculousness. I went through and I found out there was a South African cricketer from 1892 whose first name was Shunty.
Shunty.
Shunty, spelt exactly as you would expect it to be spelled.
Imagine living your entire life.
Shunty.
Shunty.
Shunty. Anyway, so so I needed basically people of European South African, if that makes sense, heritage for the accent, but basically to read those quotes, which the level of trust in some of them is delightful, and I thank them enormously because I'm asking them to read things that are offensive.
Yeah.
Right. It's about these politicians in apartheid South Africa explaining that they don't want black players going there. Pretty racist stuff.
Yeah.
And as you might imagine, there are laws on the books where in South Africa where you're not really allowed to be very racist anymore. Understandable, really. Even from the freedom of speech angle, I can understand the non-white population in South Africa putting laws in place to stop that shit. Fine. But that means that they're then very worried about reading this obviously racist material in case I'm making like Nazi history or something.
Which, of course, you're not.
And the one, well, of course I'm not.
Yeah,
no, but,
they can look at your channel for the receipts.
You know. Yeah, well, I one of them was like, "What's the context?" And I tried to explain it to him, and eventually I sent him the script, and he was like, "Oh, that's fine." Yeah.
Okay.
Because specifically, it's just I'm not quoting them saying this is fantastic, isn't it? Let's all be really racist. It's the exact opposite. So,
it's more like, how fucking racist is this? Very. Let's play it.
Exactly. Yeah. And not just that, but it's the historical context of this is the social political situation in which these things occurred, which is part of history, isn't it? Really. Anyway, so I found those. That's fine. I need a Caribbean person. I've been chasing the Caribbeans. So which, for a British person to say is very dodgy. Let's just put it that way. And I haven't been able to find one yet. So if you know someone, they don't necessarily have to be living there right now, but if they've got an accent that sounds vaguely like it's from the Caribbean, and I know there are lots of different nations there, but I'm so desperate at this point that anyone
if you know anyone, So in the chat,
ideally a male, but frankly, it doesn't matter at this point. If a woman does it, I'll just pitch shift the fucking voice down. At this point. I don't care. I just need someone because me doing the accent isn't going to work.
Bad. No.
I tried text to speech and it's shit. So I need someone.
Can you
please.
do text to speech in a Caribbean accent and different accents?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Really?
I tried it with the South African, the Boer South African accent, and oh my god, it sounded like metal on metal. Like it was awful. It sounded like nails on a fucking chalkboard. Jesus. Which, I mean, to be fair, it's an ugly language. So, how you expect? You heard Afrikaans.
Well, it sounds, it reminds me a lot of Dutch, which reminds me a lot of German.
Basically, they took the worst bits of Dutch and the worst bits of German and slammed them together and created a language so disgusting that it makes my ears bleed.
So
anyway,
if anyone
I've been chasing foreigners. What have you been up to?
Well, taking a drink while you were talking and then going down the wrong pipe. But other than that, I did my Sunday show today, so I'm a little bit out of whack because we normally don't do a show on a Sunday night, but that's the way it went. Otherwise, I had I watched Wallander for the first time.
You watched a what?
Wallander, the Channel 4 series, I think it was, with Brenna.
Oh, you watched? Sorry, for a second I thought you said you watched a wall mirror.
Well, that would have been way more productive than what I did, which was nothing.
You watched Wallander, okay.
I did order a takeaway. Because I hadn't all week, and this is my way of participating in the economy. So I did get a chicken doll from Gate of India.
Again, Americans, chicken doll. I was thinking, what are you talking about? Chicken doll.
Yeah, doll. Yeah. I didn't doll it enough, but I had the right sound, I think.
Because a chicken doll is like a Barbie made of chicken.
A doll. There we go.
A doll.
With an A-H, yeah. And oh no, actually, you know what? I tell a lie. It's a dunsack. Now that I think about it, it's actually it's a chicken dunsack. All that conversation. Yeah, it wasn't even the right dish.
Actually, it wasn't that. It was a lamb boona.
No, it definitely was not a boona. No, it was Persian. It was a dunsack.
Chicken madras.
Oh, I love a madras. Oof, yeah. I also got some papadums, and I made the classic error of getting a mint yogurt and a mango chutney when really I should have just gotten the 2 mango chutneys.
But you've not tried absolutely quintessential subcontinental cuisine until you've tried the authentic Balti.
Have a Balti. Baltis are boring.
Baltis are amazing, and you missed the joke there that they were invented here. But anyway.
Oh.
They're basically a bastardization of Indian cuisine. They're nice though.
Well, you have a bunch of those. Isn't there a couple dishes? Or is it just the Balti? Also, like a tiki masala, too. Isn't that a weird British take on something?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, well, anyway.
I've always thought the food they serve in Indian and Chinese restaurants, there's no way the people of India and China live on that.
No, because if English people live on it, no one else will.
You would fucking die within a week.
Yeah.
The calorific intake would be just ridiculous.
But as a consequence of having an adunsak and some papadums, my house smells like an Indian restaurant now, which is really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Normally my place just smells like Italian because I either eat
and there's a racist white person in there too, so perfect.
So speaking of dicks,
were we?
Yeah, well, you were acting like one.
Well, thank you. Yes, that's true.
Just a reminder. Cats are dicks. Also,
instead of speaking of dicks, you should have said speaking to dicks.
Speaking to dicks, yes. Then, this Kevin put. You can see Kevin Logan. Yeah, I've been told.
I mean, I don't know that whispering sweet nothings into its ear does anything.
No, it's a euphemism for what? Yeah, a horse whisperer doesn't just whisper, and it's not because they whisper at horses. Yeah. It's the deep bond they have and understanding.
Yeah, you are at one with the cock. Yeah.
Very zen with my handwork. All right, anyway, so yeah, you put this up and I just thought it was hilarious because it just summarizes like cats because they're so fucking random. And then also they're just dicks. Cats are dicks. So this yeah, I'm just going to play the GIF or GIF, however you want to pronounce it. And there we go. Cat jumps up
and then runs off.
Damn. Fuck your shampoo.
And specifically, fuck this shampoo.
Yeah.
This specific bottle of shampoo is a prick. Fuck you.
I'm going to look at you and fuck your shampoo. Damn it. I'm out. That's so good.
Yeah. Cat out.
Yeah. There's so many emotions that are happening in that small little few seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, it made me happy. So I just wanted to share that at the start of the show. Oh, that's your story, but I think maybe we should probably...
I don't know that it counts as a story.
Okay,
yes.
Your tweets. Whatever. But since we did lead with Peter Coffin, should I try to find the Peter Coffin stuff? Should we talk about that first? And then we can...
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, I guess the setup to this while I scroll down, because there's a lot of stuff in my feeds. Also, I just love this. I'm sorry, I'm going to do another joke. Oh, wow, I have a lot of stuff in my feed. Sorry here. This, I just thought, oh, there we go. This was hilarious. I just love this. So look at this picture. You see this, Baskin Robbins?
Yeah.
Right. So the tweet, Jesse McLaurin writes, First time in my life I realized Baskin Robbins logo has a 31 in it. For context, I used to work at a Baskin Robbins. And then I replied back, that last line killed me. And then someone was like, what's so funny about the last line? And I just couldn't reply back. I was like, hey.
Yeah, if you don't get that, there's nothing I can do to explain it.
No. Okay, so I think it was actually, this has two of them. So the background to this conversation is that, AstroTurf, Tea Party types, Fox News types, QAnon types, your basic kinds of pieces of shit white people who will fly Confederate flags, just generally, and gather in crowds, not practicing social distancing, and purposely violating Trump's guidelines. Sort of at his insurrection instruction. Trump is encouraging people to protest the guidelines he put in place, apparently to keep us safe. That's America today. Right. I don't understand it, but it is.
I mean, actually, there was another Baskin Robbins. We've gone very Baskin Robbins heavy.
Wow, I think the Hummels are going to get a little bit jealous.
Well, the more weird niche references, the better. Yeah, exactly. All the weird sponsors.
We want them our way.
Anyone from the fucking the fruit pastels company who wants to be involved.
Send us samples.
Exactly. What was I going to say? I actually did a thing the other day. I bought a tube of Smarties. I haven't done that for about 20 years.
Oh, God, yeah. We've got Smarties. I get Smarties actually a lot because I love chocolate.
Fair enough. Kristi loves cock and chocolate.
I like to put things that start with C into my mouth.
Yeah, indeed. Cocaine.
No, not coke though. I don't think it goes there.
What was I going to say?
You interrupted yourself.
They were doing the protest thing about liberation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, I want to be liberal, and the woman's sign was something like, I'm fighting for liberty or some shit.
Yeah.
And she was just in front of a Baskin Robbins, and I thought, liberty to go buy some ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's. I mean,
that might have been the Baskin Robbins.
I think George Washington maybe had bigger beef.
Yeah, bigger ideas, bigger goals in life. Than that kind of crap. Yeah. So those protests were happening with Confederate flags being flown around and people being. And it was a typical kind of conservative far right, as we say, QAnon types of white people. And Peter Coffin went on Twitter and had this hot take. I'm going to let you read it out, Kevin.
Okay. I'm going to read it out, Kristen, because I can read.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It took me a long time. I'll be honest,
years.
I was big shit for the first few years.
Yeah.
Mainly crying and shitting in my pants.
First 5 years, kind of a waste, huh?
Yeah.
Sleeping and eating.
I imagine that with Joseph and Mary. When Jesus pops out and he's like, oh, he's magic, is he? He mainly appears to be puking and shitting everywhere and eating my fucking food. Little prick. Anyway, so I don't see God isn't exactly chipping into the food fund. Mary.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Not an earner. He's not an earner.
Exactly. Anyway, imagine if there was a left that was more concerned with getting to the people protesting here in Michigan than dunking on them. Amazing amount of a lack of any punctuation, including a capital there. I mean, that's amazing. He capitalized Michigan, but not imagine to sentence.
And no periods.
No period. No, there's nothing there. That's amazing. Anyway, but punctuation aside, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, but basically what he's saying there is he wants to harness white resentment into his revolution against capitalism, and thereby just negate all other forms of oppression. Just
Now, do you want to tell everyone what I responded to this when you sent it to me on Facebook?
No, you can tell me.
Because you can't remember.
No, it was days ago.
Okay.
Things have
Fair
happened.
enough. No, it was about 20 hours ago, Kristi.
Was it? God, it feels like a lot's happened.
No,
okay.
This was literally like 2 in the morning. Or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I don't know, 15 hours, whatever. Anyway, so I just said, someone's learning how to grift properly on the internet.
Oh, yes. Now that you say it, I do remember it.
Yeah. and because that's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's monetizable. Pandering to angry white fragile pricks on the internet is very profitable, as we know.
Yeah.
So and Peter's getting in on that train.
By the way, he went to, I don't know if you saw this second follow-up tweet where he kind of doubled down. But
that's unlike him. He's usually so thoughtful when receiving criticism.
Well, you like this because it has punctuation in it, so you want to read this out too?
But still no capital to start off a sentence.
No, and it's missing a period at the end. At one of the...
and well, the second sentence or the second stanza, you don't start a sentence with the word "and" ever.
Yeah.
And there's no capital, so I'm offended on 2 points in one letter.
2 grammar points already taken off.
Yeah, right. He said, Peter says, incorrect. They are much easier to reach than liberals. What? Hang on. So someone presumably criticised him, saying that liberals were more easy to reach, presumably. So he says, incorrect. They are much easier to reach than liberals. The majority of people who contact me with a story about how, quote, have I, quote, opened their eyes, unquote, are former chuds. Very few dyed-in-the-wool libs. And for years, I've targeted libs, not chuds.
Yep. Rory Katz
wants to know what a chud is.
Well, the original chud was a cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
That was the OG of the chuddery.
Yeah, 1980s bad horror flick. There. But now it just means people who don't think too hard and yell a lot.
Yes.
White guys, especially. But it could be white women too, I guess. But are generally reactionary people, tending to be white.
Indeed. Yeah, you get black chuds. I've seen some black chuds.
But
I mean, I can think of few better than Candace Owens.
Yeah, I'd call her a chud.
Yeah.
She's still chuddish in her takes.
There is the levels of chuddery going on at PragerU in general.
And
even from their tokens, yes.
Yeah, and I just don't see why he thinks it's such a proud moment to take people who are already open to the ideas of the globalists being run by Jews and New World Order types and just frame that in terms of corporations. And then people are like, oh yeah, all these corporations that are run by the Jews. Kind of nonsense. You know, so what you're not really making anyone more left in terms of like a progressive agenda. You're just giving them a class analysis with which to underpin their racism.
Well, unfortunately, there is a strain within leftist historical theory that is very anti-Semitic.
That is unfortunate.
A lot. Certainly some of the anarchist theorists were very, very anti-Semitic. Now, to be fair, the time in which they lived, most people were anti-Semitic to some degree, but they were particularly like, oh, well, the Jews run the banks.
Yeah. And
the banks are bad. You know, you can see the progression of the thing there. So that's not unique or original to Mr. Coffin's approach to things. Yeah, and you can, I mean, you like you say, you're not actually making them more left-wing, you're just giving them another stick with which to beat Jewish people, I suppose.
Yeah, or whatever group they want.
Yeah, well, indeed. Yeah, you could be Muslims, you could be just the guy down the street who's good at getting girls, which is often the core of what these people's problem is. Yeah, it's feeding into a certain kind of victim mentality.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah,
precisely.
And it's like it's there are definitely some instances where right-wing people become not right-wing anymore, and that's awesome. But by and large, the people protesting, saying, "Don't tread on me" outside of fucking Baskin Robbins is probably not reachable or worth trying to reach.
It just shows how much more comfortable he is in a sort of a white space with a class resentment agenda than he is actually building alliances with people of different intersections of oppression.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's much easier and it's low-hanging fruit to a degree. Although I don't like that.
Closer to your mic,
because it's difficult work in some respects. But
yeah,
it's easier to take on a Nazi who's obviously horrific than to take on maybe a liberal who's actually got some salient arguments.
Yeah, because I mean, in this case, I think here there's going to be that sort of attempted, again, common ground over forms of white resentment. as opposed to saying, okay, I'm going to work with a liberal and I'm not going to get 100% of what I want. I'm going to have to compromise, but I'm going to move my agenda forward.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't want to compromise, well, then you just get more converts. You don't care where you get them from.
Yeah, this is the point I made a long time ago, and people like Peter, or not specifically Peter, but people like him, made the point to me, or responded to me in very, very nasty ways. When I basically said, in order for Bernie Sanders to win, he's going to have to get liberals on side.
Yeah,
there's no way he can't. He's going to need tens of millions of people who are not naturally as progressive or as economically left wing or whatever as Bernie Sanders is to vote for him. And if you don't, and you don't try and lay that groundwork, he can't. And Peter doesn't seem to have learned that lesson even after Sanders lost.
Nope, twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it, but Biden is in a rare move, like working to let Bernie keep his delegates, even though he's endorsed him or whatever, so he can do his thing at the convention.
Yeah, well,
he's really
that
trying
might
to
be
court him.
realpolitik of basically keeping Bernie quiet.
Well, yeah,
imagine.
But it's more than he got last time. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's working out very differently for the Dems than it did in 2016.
I do hope so, yes.
Yeah. Everything says that. Okay. So, anything more?
On that point, though, if we're done with Peter, do you want to go to the one I sent you about Brianna Joy Gray? Because that's similar.
Okay.
That's not the one I sent to you about Brianna Gray.
I don't think I have the other one. I'm going to have to go find it. Do you want me to find it?
Well, it was literally the catalyst for doing this show today, Kristi. I sent it to you a couple of days ago.
Yeah, well, if you sent it to me a couple of days ago, I don't remember, and I asked you if you had anything for the show, and that's what you sent me, so... But anyway...
If you go back and follow the conversation, it was literally, do you want to do a show about this? And you were like, well, I've got thingy tonight, but I can do Sunday.
Okay, well, it was days ago, Kevin. I don't remember everything you sent me, so just give me a second.
That's outrageous, Kristi. I remember everything you sent to me.
No, you don't. You don't even watch my show.
That's not remotely true. Total liar.
Yeah.
But
Facebook sucks on the desktop.
Facebook is fucking dreadful.
It is. Yeah. It's so difficult to deal with, and the scrolling is terrible. Oh, I see it.
You got it?
Yep. Okay.
Do you see the conversation we had setting up this up, Kristi?
No, I just saw the tweet. What is that from? Saturday. It's from Saturday. Yeah.
It's from Saturday, Kristi.
Yeah. I don't remember that far back.
Yesterday.
Don't remember that far back.
No, okay.
Every day's the same.
So we've talked about this person before.
Oh, God, yeah.
Brianna Joy Gray.
Yep.
Used to be on Bernie's staff and then decided to act like a prick. And Bernie was like, no, I didn't even fucking employ this woman anymore. She's fucking off. I'm paraphrasing, but basically he threw enough shade that she got nipper.
Yeah.
So this is The Intercept, the online news thing. And this is a conversation between Mehdi Hassan, who's a British journalist who now lives and works in America, and Noam Chomsky, who looks like
Father Time,
Santa Claus in this.
Father Time,
homeless Santa Claus who's walked into a library to use the webcam. Which, no, to be fair, he's an old man just at home. Leave him alone, Kev. Anyway, but Noam Chomsky, famous anarchist philosopher, brilliant thinker, even if you disagree with him, clearly a very intelligent, thoughtful, articulate man who's been doing this for decades, okay? And just basically made the very simple point there. What was it? Sorry, yeah. You can debate me on a lot of things, but not arithmetic. Failure to vote for Biden in this election in a swing state amounts to a vote for Trump. Yep. He said he's going to vote for Biden, doesn't like him. He didn't even particularly like Bernie enormously because he's to the left of Bernie. He's an anarchist philosopher, right? Which basically means he doesn't want any government at all in an ideal situation. But the point being that he knows what harm reduction actually means. So vote for Biden.
Yeah.
Brianna Joy Gray then responds with one of the most shitty things that she could have said to someone who is a stalwart of the left and has been since then. This motherfucker was debating William Buckley back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's been around.
The block. This motherfucker's been doing this before you, Brianna, or me, or Kristi were born.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Have a little bit of respect. Anyway, Kristi, I'll let you read Brianna's words.
Yeah. I guess it's easier to smear me as a never Biden Trumpist than to ask that the Democratic Party candidate make itself more electable by adopting the positions held by the majority of the electorate. Also, I won't be voting in a swing state or any state. Hashtag DC statehood.
Right. But, I mean, okay, that's not really the point, is it?
Yeah.
That last point is so petty because loads of them are commonwealths. So you say, well, I'm not even voting in a state. Technically, it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if people in DC which elections they get to vote in. I mean, in terms of people in DC might not get to vote for president because they're not a state, but they have. I don't know what the situation is.
They do, don't they? I remember DC.
No, because you know what? Their license plate tag is no taxation without representation. Voting a DC resident.
I'm pretty sure I seem to recall DC being a result.
We're going to look it up. Voting rights of the citizens in the District of Columbia differ from the rights of citizens in the... Each of the 50 states. The Constitution grants each state voting representation in both houses of Congress. As the federal capital, the District of Columbia is a special federal district, not a state, and therefore does not have voting representation in Congress. The Constitution grants Congress exclusive jurisdiction over the district in all cases whatsoever. In the House of Representatives, the district is represented by a delegate who is not allowed to vote on the House floor but can vote on procedural matters and in congressional committees. DC residents have no representation in the Senate. The 23rd Amendment, adopted in 1961, entities the district to the same number of electoral votes as that of the least populous state in the election of the president and vice president. So, wait, what does that mean?
Which is slightly ridiculous because there are fucking millions of people who live in DC. So
it's
underrepresented in terms of electoral votes, but it does get to vote. Okay.
Yeah, because that's why they say, no taxation without representation on their license plate because they're not sort of allowed to vote. Presidential. That's in.
Well, Kristi,
It wasn't entirely clear to me here.
Oh, for God's sake.
That doesn't answer the question either.
Titles them to the same number of votes. Well, if they've got the same number of electoral votes, how are those apportioned?
Yeah.
If not by vote?
So then she's wrong. I guess so.
Well, that's the thing. I think she was just making a semantic point. It's not a state.
Oh,
it's a federal
okay.
district. Which, like I say, there are
silly.
A dozen, like the Commonwealth of Virginia, the Republic of California. But they're states. That you know what that means. That'd be a prick. Anyway, but that's not even the big point. The big point here is the political point that's being made.
Yeah, sorry, we got off on a fact tangent.
For a start off, Noam Chomsky's not smearing you or anyone else as a never Trumper. He's explaining his own position.
Yeah. And
why you maybe should potentially adopt that position. He's a philosopher. He's a writer. He's a political thinker. That's what he does. Anyway, and again, he's not saying you're a Trumpist. He's saying the practicality of not doing this thing means this other thing will happen. That's the thing you have to deal with. Which, to be fair, at least in the last episode when we talked to Kyle Kalinske, he admitted that. He was like, yeah, you can blame me for that. At least that's honest. At least that's saying, I know the outcome of this. I don't care, which is fucked up, but at least he's honest. This is bullshit. This is avoiding, not necessarily even culpability, but just ignoring the reality of the situation. That if you don't vote one way, you're going to get the other thing. Now, I don't know in terms of DC. I presume that's big cities are generally more liberal.
Yeah, DC's going to go blue. If I'm remembering it now, we have to look back, but I'm sure that's a totally. I mean, the city council is blue. It was all Democrats. Yeah. So
okay, apparently DC is the 8 in the 538.
Yes.
Where
okay.
Congress is 5. Okay.
Thank you, Data Portal.
No, yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. Yes. So anyway, he's not trying to smear you as anything. He's explaining a situation, and of course, you can still vote for Biden and do the really important thing, pressuring him to have a more progressive platform before the election, and force him to do the progressive things he promises after the election.
Yeah, it's not a time limit on those things.
Yeah, democracy doesn't start and end with just an X in a box or a hanging Chad or a fucking press of a screen or whatever fucked up system you have in your particular state /republic /commonwealth /fucking federal district.
Yes. By the way, if people are wondering, is the picture fuzzy? Noam Chomsky is very fuzzy in this picture, so that's not your screen.
Well, yeah, he's an old man with lots of white hair on a webcam. Yeah, he's a bit weird.
I don't think he has the most expensive webcam out there.
No. To be fair though, the internet came along when he was about 60.
Yeah, he's catching up.
I mean, my camera's shit, and it came along when I was a lot younger. I'm a lot more internet savvy than fucking Noam Chomsky is. What a boast that is. Yeah, I'm more internet savvy than this 70-year-old.
That's a really powerful flex there, Kevin. Look at me.
Fucking dunked all over you, Chomsky.
Better than your great grandpa. But yeah, this is ridiculous. Like this whole, I'm too pure to vote to save people's lives kind of attitude. If I don't get 100% of what I want, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Yeah. And it's disrespectful because it's like you're trying to dunk on Noam Chomsky, who's a guy who knows what he's fucking talking about.
Yeah, that's also like, why go for him? Why take this so personally? Yeah, he's not talking about you.
Especially when she's out there being like, I'm more left than everyone, and she's attacking someone to the left of her who's more respected on the left than she is.
Yeah.
Like it's not good.
It's not a good
philosophy.
Look.
It's not good politics, and it's not good practical social interaction.
You know what her last job was supposed to be communicating to the public in a way that presents her candidate in positive ways.
Yeah, but she's not employed by him anymore, so she doesn't need to.
No, yeah. Well, she was doing this kind of stuff before that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was shit. Absolutely.
Yeah, starting fights on Twitter with people like, why? And not even Republicans, like other people who are Dems.
Yeah.
She wasn't saying, oh yeah, we're going to be so hard on the GOP. No, let's smash the DNC. Like, what? A lot of people who are in the Democratic Party actually want the DNC. I don't want to burn it all down.
And and the guy who's paying you money, he's going to need the structure of the DNC to campaign for him.
Yeah.
If in the theory, had he become the candidate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you smash that, he loses.
So I listened to this debate. Actually, Cog recommended it to me. One of his friends, Chud Logic, was hosting a debate between a guy who was...
Well, should we just briefly explain that the Chud in Chud Logic is it's a joke?
Yes, it's an ironic use.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so they were having a debate, and the question was, like, should you vote for Biden or not? And the guy who was saying, I'm not going to vote for Biden, was just doing such a bad job of justifying why he wasn't going to do it. He was basically saying, if I vote for Biden, then Biden as a neoliberal is going to set things up in a way that we're going to end up with fascism. It's guaranteed, like my theory tells me this will happen. So I can't vote for that because I can't vote to set us on that course. Then they're saying, but when it comes to Trump, I can't vote for him, even though it would hurry up what he wanted. He couldn't vote for him because he thought Trump would do harm to people's lives. And it's like, what? What?
Yeah.
Some of the weird mental gymnastics that people have to do to justify their positions.
Because it's ad hoc generalization, post hoc generalization.
Rationalization, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to come up with logical reasons and practical reasons and all the rest of it.
To frame their emotions.
To get around the fact that what their basic point is, my candidate lost.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. We're grown-ups here, and this is important.
Someone said, too, like, every time I don't get the candidate I want, they tell me I have to vote for them because this election is the most important one. I'm like, well, yeah, because it always is. And like, when was it going to be not the important election where I don't have to vote for the candidate who does the better job? Like, never. Like, you don't always get what you want. Ask the Rolling Stones. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. So keep trying. That's politics.
Yeah, exactly. And also, brown sugar. Why do you taste so good?
All right, so are we done speaking of brown sugar? Are we done with these with Noam Chomsky's brown like sugar?
For start,
philosophical.
I thought you were talking about Mehdi Hassan, the other guy who is brown.
No,
that's insensitive, Kristi.
No, I was talking about the like pearls of wisdom, but they were going to be like sugar or anarchist sugar balls. I don't know. It made sense in my head.
What the fuck are you talking about now? I can't help but feel when I listen to you talk. We talked about this off air about me interrupting you and stuff. When you on your show, you sound really intelligent, right? And thoughtful and all the rest of it. And then you come on a show with me and you sound like an idiot at times.
I must be a proximity effect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm bringing you down to my level. Is what it is.
All right. So, are we done with Chomsky?
I start talking about cock and chocolate, and all of a sudden you're talking about anarchist sugar balls. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, that actually follows on really well if you think about it.
It does.
Cock and chocolate and
really
brown
does.
sugar balls.
There's nothing more on point for our show than cock and chocolate anarchist sugar balls.
No. All right. Do you want to talk about this now, or should we go back to? I don't know what this is about.
We can do, although it would be fuck it. We're doing emotional roller coasters.
All
Let's
right.
do a jarring point from cock and chocolate to Britain's shit.
Okay.
So, Boris Johnson. This is another interesting one which I didn't send to you, but maybe I should have done. The very Trumpian way in which Johnson approaches things. He was told to cut. His civil servants were told to cut down the number of briefings in his notes every day, and to shorten them and use more simple words if they wanted them to be read.
Great.
Yep. So, and then these are extracts from. This is the Sunday Times, right? A Murdoch newspaper, very supportive of the Tories, and they printed this. I'm going to go to the first image.
Oh, okay. There's just a lot of text, so yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no way you're at war if your PM isn't there, the advisor said. And what you learn about Boris was he didn't chair any meetings. He liked his country breaks. He didn't work weekends. It was like working for an old-fashioned chief executive in a local authority 20 years ago. There was a real sense that he didn't do urgent crisis planning. It was exactly like people feared he would be.
Yeah, complete boff.
Yeah, ridiculous. Members of the government advisory group on pandemics are said to have felt powerless. They would joke between themselves, ha ha, let's hope we don't get a pandemic, because there wasn't a single area of practice that was being nurtured in order for us to meet basic requirements for pandemic, never mind do it well, said this.
Incompetent. Yeah, no clue of management.
We've got deaths through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
16,000 that they're admitting to. That could be more than double with the old people dying. The care homes are being emptied right now. Towards the end of the second week of February, the Prime Minister was demob happy.
What's demob? What's demob?
Demobilisation. Basically, at the end of a tour of duty for an army officer or an army, soldier, they get what's called demobilised. So basically, they know they're going from having to do the work to being free.
Okay.
Sense.
Yeah.
So, like the last day of school.
Okay, got it.
After sacking 5 cabinet ministers and saying everyone should be confident and calm about Britain's response to the virus, Johnson vacated Downing Street after the half-term recess began on February 13th. He headed to the country for a, quote, working, unquote, holiday at Chevening with Simmons, that's his pregnant girlfriend. Well, she's pregnant now, I don't know if she was at the time, and would be out of the public eye for 12 days.
It's only February, so she was probably still pregnant.
Yeah.
But anyway.
His aides were thankful for the rest as they had been working flat out since I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I don't know where that goes. But basically, he fucked off in the middle of
the pandemic.
Planning. Quote, I had watched Wuhan, but I assumed we must have not been worried because we did nothing. We just watched. A pandemic was always at the top of our national risk register, always. But when it came, we were just slowly watched. We would have been Germany, but instead we're doomed by our incompetence, our hubris, and our austerity.
Yeah, true. And what was the paper? This was...
The Sunday Times.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess they're not happy about his positive ratings out of compassion because he got sick. They're looking to tear him down now.
Well, and rightly fucking so.
Well, yeah.
This is ridiculous. Britain, for a country of our size, if you look at it, we've got, I think something ridiculous like, was it a quarter of the number of overall cases of Germany or something like that, and like fucking nearly 10 times as many deaths.
Yep.
Absolutely ludicrous.
Yep.
this government are so shit. And like I say, this is the ones they're admitting to.
Yeah.
When it comes out in the wash, and I will absolutely say I fucking told you so when this happens, eventually the numbers will be collated of the elderly that are dying in care homes and respite centres and stuff, because there are lack of testing and no personal protective equipment, and they're basically just being allowed to rot. Because they're out of sight, out of mind. There's no negative headlines for now. The numbers will be vastly increased. And in terms of the overall number of deaths and the rate of deaths, it will far exceed most countries in the world other than the United States, which is even worse somehow.
Because we have even more incompetence running the U.S.
Yeah. He is. He's a mini Trump.
Yeah, he is. He is. Oh, we're run by useless men.
He's just more savvy to the point where he doesn't come out and say, Muslims, the Muslims, they're probably all rapists and that.
Yeah, he doesn't say that part out loud.
He's less obvious about it.
Yes.
But he's basically the same person, but not quite as shit.
Yeah.
Which is almost a compliment, but not.
Yeah, it's merely a scaling of shitness.
Yeah, exactly. It's like stepping in dog shit or stepping in a pile of cow shit. Either way, your foot's covered in shit.
Yeah. It's just about how much time it takes to clean it.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Should we switch to something else now?
Let's.
All right. Tell me when you see it.
Hairstylists want to work.
Mm-hmm. Look behind her.
Was it a naked person?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be honest. I was looking for like a photo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Is that a naked? Is that a mat? Is that a cock?
Yes.
Oh, good lord.
I mean, it's hard to see through the shower door, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Well, all I'll say is, in future, frosted. Get frosted glass. Takes care of your problems. Anyway.
So yeah, be careful where you do your.
A funny one. Nowhere near as rude, but guy doing an interview on TV, one of these expert people on something, who knows, and behind him, his dog was asleep on a little dog sofa. Mm-hmm. He's got a specific little sofa for his dog. It's beautiful.
That's cute. Aw.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what happens when we go on lockdown in America? The police have to send out
racism.
That too. But this. Police department reminds residents to wear pants while checking mail.
Oh,
this is all right.
Oh, God, I wasn't expecting that.
Tannytown, Maryland police are reminding residents to wear pants when checking their mailbox. In a Facebook post, police said, quote, "Please remember to put your pants on before leaving the house to check your mailbox," unquote. The police also stated, quote, "You know who you are. This is your final warning," unquote.
I was getting his cock out in public. Okay. Yeah.
And here it is, and this is actually the Facebook post. You know who you are. This is your final warning.
Well, all I'll say is that is the nanny state at work. If a man wants to just have a bit of air flowing around his ball and cock whilst he goes to get his local.
Now, pants mean trousers in America, of course, not underwear.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. But I presume, because presumably it wouldn't be a problem if they actually had boxers on, because that's still covered.
Well, no, not really. I think they probably do go out in like tidy whities, and it's not a nice sight.
That's a bit much. Yeah, that's probably a little bit.
I'd like to see you like wander out. Well, you don't have your post box, of course. Like your letterbox is your front door, so you don't have to leave your house to get your mail.
It's posted directly into the house.
Yes,
like a civilized country.
Which my dog loved, by the way. I felt so bad for the men and women.
As a person who's delivered political literature and stuff in the past, lots of dogs like biting hands.
Yes, it's true. Well, they just like to. She liked to attack the post. I had a Boots card that had a tooth mark in it because. You should carry that around.
And of course you had a Boots card.
Yeah, of course
you did.
Yeah. I had a Tesco card too.
I'm no doubt, Kristi. I'm no doubt your purse was full of loyalty cards for every
Nectar card.
Yeah. Go on.
Anyway, yeah. So also, kind of get back to Corona a little bit. Had you read at all about the natural experiment that was happening in the Nordic, sort of the northern countries, where Denmark and Norway and Finland were doing lockdowns, but Sweden was like, fuck that. We're not really.
I've heard about this, but I haven't been able to focus on it because I've been trying to basically avoid it, and I've been chasing foreigners, but not Sweden.
Well, I had heard that it happened, and we weren't really sure what the effect of that policy decision was going to be. But this came out the other day, so I bookmarked it. In case you're wondering how Sweden's no lockdown experiment is going, and as you can see here, these are like numbers. You got Denmark, Norway, Finland.
It's not the blue line, is it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh fucking hell!
So this is what happens when you don't do social distancing.
Whoa.
They were still having like restaurants with like up to 10 patrons and letting people wander around.
1,200. How many people are in Sweden?
Well, a little bit more than that,
Not
but
that many. No, but I'm talking like in terms of the overall population.
A couple million, I guess. We could look it up, but we'll just assume.
Germany only has like
66. Yeah.
Deaths or something, and it's got a way bigger population.
Yep. So
what's the can we Google the population of Sweden, please?
Yeah.
Just to annoy Peter Sweden, because he's not one of them.
I was close enough.
Switzerland. No.
Oh, by the way, the abbreviation CHE is for Switzerland.
Is it?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know why. 10 million.
What does CHE stand for then?
Well, I guess we'd have to look it up. But, okay, so you got Sweden at 10 million, Denmark at half as many, and Finland is half as many.
Yeah, and yet the deaths is astronomically higher.
Although we know that population isn't correlated with
No, not absolutely.
outbreaks. Yeah.
In general, if you've got...
You can see the effects there.
Germany's got like double the number of deaths, but has, I don't even know, 10 times as many people or something?
Yeah.
How many? What's the population of Germany, Krista?
I thought it was like 66 million, but maybe I'm remembering the UK. Yeah. I'm really glad Google just knows what my bad... 80... Oh, wow, much bigger. Sorry, yeah. 83. Wow.
Yeah, so like 8.5-ish, or 8 times bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And yet has only double the number of deaths. So that goes beyond population isn't an absolute determinant to... That's a piss take.
Yeah, it's the effect of not social distancing in a really enforced way.
Yeah. You
just get more spread. And so if you want to know what Nebraska is going to look like and South Dakota and all these states that aren't social distancing.
So I was technically right.
Oh, Confederate. Okay, you looking in the chat?
Yeah, it stands for Confederatio.
Yeah. Okay, right, because they have 3 official languages in Switzerland.
And Helvetica comes from the Helvetii tribe. I told you about this, didn't I?
Yes, and
try to sort of genocide.
And Confederatio looks Italian, which is one of the 3 official languages of Switzerland.
Yeah, well.
Do you know the other 2?
French and German.
Correct. Well done, you. Oh. See, I knew that for survey reasons, because we have to give the surveys in 3 different languages, and you have to like try to word them comparatively, and then do studies and tests to see if people.
Why don't the Swiss get their own fucking language?
All right, so I saw this story. I'm just going to say it's a story, and it's pretty funny. I'm sorry. Can we move on?
I can't get past the fact that the person's called Truth Writer and immediately underneath
this is untrustworthy, right? Yeah. So we're just going to read this story. Like I said, it's a story I saw on the internet, but it's kind of funny. There's a punchline.
Punch a Nazi in the face. It was glorious. You have my attention.
All right. So the story starts. I just saw someone punch a Nazi in the face, and it was glorious. The young man was moving his belongings into an apartment and was carrying a gigantic picture of a red and white swastika into the building. A 70-ish man came out of nowhere, running at high speed, and sucker punched him.
I look a 70-year-old man running at high speed. High speed for 70-year-old.
Yes.
Or is this sort of
no, I think high speed for
70. He can clock an under 10-second 100 meters. Love it.
All right. The young guy fell over and his swastika picture got a hole in it. He was bleeding from his ear, and it was a side punch and very hard. The old guy told him he was a piece of Nazi scum shit and literally walked slowly away without a fear in the world. Again, story on the internet, have no idea it's true. But then the young guy yelled, "If I didn't have a warrant out on me, I'd call the cops on your ass."
Oh, God.
That's why I think it's a story. The old man flipped him the bird and came back and spat on the swastika. It all happened so fast, my phone was inside, so I could not record it.
Well, I don't trust it for a second, but that's a great story.
Yeah. I like that if I didn't have a warrant.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right, so this story. Okay, we were talking about.
They can't have Welsh. They need to get their own language. Make up their own fucking language.
All right, so this.
Oh, we want to remain neutral, not when it comes to stealing languages, I see.
Okay.
Anyway.
I actually covered this on my show earlier, but it's so worthy of the happy hour, I'm going to trot it out twice. So Lucinda here writes, then don't you dare go to a fucking hospital, Karen. If you get sick, you're on your own. But that's not really what was so amazing about this. This lady here, this lady with the flag, just handkerchief around her neck, which is a misuse of the flag, by the way. Her name is actually Becky Walker. Fargness or whatever. So she is a literal Becky. And then we got dumb white people. Just whenever you look at these protests.
That's most of that show, to be fair, though.
That's true. There's a lot of dumb white people. But in this case, they're endangering their lives.
Occasional Candace Owens thrown in. Or something.
Yes, yeah. Just for, because some people want to have people to hide behind.
And one specific orange person.
And a very orange person, yeah. I'm going to make that go bigger again. All right, there we go. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, this is just, the case risings in terms of percentages in the states where they don't have...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can we just appreciate the name Quentin Quarantino?
I missed that, but yes. Let's take a moment.
Let's
have a moment.
That's beautiful.
Completely missed that. What's this? Oh, yeah, Fox News is praising people who are doing these armed protests in public spaces, not observing social distancing. They're basically like...
You can... There's a certain schadenfreude in knowing that some of these people will die, but unfortunately lots of innocent people will die.
Right. Because the virus
That's
doesn't...
the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't look at your viewing habits.
Taking risks with this dumbassery in public, you're only inflicting it on yourself and maybe the security forces or something. But yeah, this is going to get innocent people killed.
Yep.
It's going to get a cashier killed and a nurse killed. And
yep.
Yeah.
And if your spread goes to somebody who works at a nursing home, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is a good point. Millionaire.
Talking of dumb white people.
Precisely. Oh. Millionaire bloggers funded by... Yeah.
It's an absolute hotspot going on here.
Of stupidity.
Of stupid white people idiocy.
According to Flint Reed...
That's no comment on Ashley Lynch, by the way. I don't know her.
According to Flint Reed, Klingon is the official language of Solihull in Birmingham. Is that true?
Of where, sorry?
Of Solihull. Solihull?
Where? Hang on.
You look in the chat. It's Flint Reed. Third from the bottom. Look for Klingon.
Of Solihull? I went to school in Solihull. That's not true.
Busted.
No, it's not. It's rich white people talk is the official language.
So speaking of millionaire,
big up my old alma mater, the St. Peter's Massive.
Oh,
yeah.
They called it the Massive.
I don't know why I'm saying that. I fucking hated it. I hated every second.
All right. So, millionaire bloggers funded by billionaires urge the workforce to die from a pandemic to reopen the stock market while they self-quarantine.
Yeah, exactly. When you work from home, guys, it's the typical, do as I say, not as I do.
Yep. I mean, this picture for me is a sort of like, what are these guys in the masks doing? Like, do they believe it or not? Like, commit or not? But to do a protest while in a face mask, you're kind of making the point that you should be wearing a face mask. I'm just saying.
What does that say? Remove?
Whitmer. Sorry, Whitmer. Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan. Gretchen Whitmer. Okay. Trump referred to her as the woman in Michigan. You might remember.
There's only one.
Apparently.
That's a problem. You're going to have a problem with the next generation if there's one woman.
Yeah.
You can't all throw your seed up, huh? Jesus.
No, just the one. Trump was like, hey, we've only had, like 40,000 people die, and that's way less than the 650,000 that died in the Civil War. So,
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's wrong, by the way. It's 600 to 650,000. But
yeah.
Sorry, in the Civil War. Sorry, yeah.
So hang on, Trump reckons only 60,000 people died in the Civil War.
No. He was comparing the deaths of coronavirus. I mean, we can listen to it if you want. Do you want to listen to it?
Not really.
Okay, he basically just says...
expect 60 to 65,000. Oh, okay, that's what he's expecting.
Yes.
But it's not as bad as
the Civil War.
Well, yeah, it's not as bad as the most bloody war in American history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone said...
that is an interesting flex.
Yeah. That's who's running the government.
I don't remember Make America Great. It's not going to be as bad as the Civil War. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that as the tagline.
I remember Build the Wall. I remember Lock Her Up. I don't remember not as bad as the Civil War.
Yeah. That wasn't as popular. Didn't test as well with focus groups.
Yeah, exactly.
But a poll that came out was released today for the Sunday talk shows from NBC News and the Washington Street Journal say that 58% of voters are more worried about opening too quickly than opening too slowly. About a third said that they were worried about opening too slowly. 65% Trump didn't take the threat seriously enough at the beginning of the COVID crisis.
5% either weren't watching or are idiots.
Yes. But 44% approve still of his handling of the crisis.
Wow. Who were the people who thought he didn't take it seriously enough but approve of the handling?
Well, he's doing better now. I know it doesn't make sense.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's just the fucking thought process behind someone who says, I don't think he took it seriously enough in the beginning, but I approve of his handling is remarkable.
Yeah, at some point there's crossover because there's the same people answering the questions, right?
Oh. Because don't I? To myself.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Is the soul escaping from your nose if you say it yourself? I don't know.
If you believed in a soul, I guess I'd think about that more. But
no, that's where it comes from, isn't it? When you say bless you.
Yes, because your soul would otherwise escape your body. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, because presumably there must have been a case where someone did sneeze and there was no one around. They were like, "Oh fuck, I've got no soul now." And they were still fine. And they go, guys, I just sneezed, and no one said that. No, don't worry, I'm not having a go. I'm just saying.
Now I'm gone. Now I have no soul,
and I'm fine. Yeah. I went into a church and I didn't burn or anything. It was fine. Yeah, I'm grand. Yeah,
they weren't really into experimentation and controlled,
but you
experiments.
Think they'd notice stuff.
Yeah, you think.
How did humans survive if not going? That saber-toothed tiger? Should we run away? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because the ones that didn't got fucking it.
Yep. Which is yes. So getting a little bit creeped out, feeling like you're being watched, just left over from when we were actually being watched by things that wanted to eat us. The guy that just lost his Supreme Court seat the other week?
Yes.
Well, he had previously recused himself from a case about voter handling, like purging people from the voter list because of conflict of interest. But now he wants to unrecuse himself. I'm going to go ahead and participate in that decision now.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is the thing, whenever people going about the corruption in other countries, I always think to myself, have you looked at your own countries? Because Britain's a phenomenally corrupt place, and America clearly is very corrupt too. I think it's a human thing.
This is awesome. These are 2 opinion pieces, counterpoints.
America needs to go back to work, buy a cat. Yes. True. Why not work from home forever? Buy a dog. That's true. Rory Cats tolerates me.
Yeah.
And I miss my Chopsy cats too. Not Chopsy.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? Yeah. But yeah, Rory Cats tolerates me. But generally, when I'm out of the house, that's fine. Like, he can tolerate me in small bursts. I'm at home all the time now, singing cheesy 80s pop classics at him, and he's not happy. He's not
all
happy
the
with
time.
that at all.
One of us needs to leave, and it's not going to be me.
I'll just walk in and, Marconi plays the mamba. Listen to the radio. And he's just like, Kev, I'm trying to fucking sleep here. Leave me alone.
Do you dance too? I'm just picturing you dancing
occasionally I will dance.
Yeah.
There will occasionally be a little bit of a. Again, it's white people dance though. It's not real dance.
Oh yeah. I kind of put that
But
in there.
technically, it's sort of rhythmic moving, so that counts, I suppose.
Yeah. And then someone in reply had, I'm sure this has been around a lot, but the dog diary versus the cat diary. Dog diary, 8 a.m. Dog food, my favorite thing. 9:30, a car ride, my favorite thing. 9:40, a walk in the park, my favorite thing. 10:30, got rubbed and petted, my favorite thing. And it just keeps going, everything. And the cat is like, day 983 of my captivity. My captors continue to torment me by tossing me little dangling objects. It just goes on about like, so yes, differences between cats and dogs, as we know, and we love them.
Well, someone, the perfect explanation between the differences, there was a meme that went around, and it was the dog. It was a speech bubble beside a dog and a speech bubble beside a cat, and the dog was, these humans must be master hunters. They never run out of food, and they give it to me. They must be gods. And the cat says, the humans always have food and they give it to me. That must mean I'm a god.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
Yes. I say, yeah, dogs, people can own a dog, but cats have servants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I take care of Rory's house for him.
Yes, basically. Clean out his litter box, make sure he has food, keep the heating on, keep him dry.
Indeed.
There we go.
The president retweeted Charlie Kirk 11 times during the pandemic, in case you're wondering why we're going to be wearing a mask in public until 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, this one was a great pun, so I wanted to save it for you. Oh, yeah. It was day 2 of football lessons. This guy's out in his backyard with his dog. And that was an underhanded toss to the wide retriever.
Oh, yes. Nice. That's good.
Yeah. I thought you'd appreciate that. It was a Kevin. Yeah. Right.
It was sport and it was a pun. It was,
yes.
Perfect spot for me.
Oh, I have actually seen these at airports.
Scroll back up slightly.
Okay.
Just to the next one above. Sorry. Yeah. This I saw this tweeted out.
Yeah.
Because it was tweeted out by Sam Cedar, and the response to it that got my attention was from Mr. Tim Pool, another stupid one.
Oh no! Yeah, beanie head.
Sam Cedar was like, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't be advertising this. That's not cool." To which Tim Pool replied directly to him, saying, "Yeah, it's interesting that the left have gone full fascist on this."
What?
What? At no point did he say Fox News should be shut down for this. He just said maybe don't advertise the rallies and stuff. That's not responsible journalism. Yeah, and they're just like, but coming from Tim Pool, who constantly moans about how the left constantly use the word fascist and Nazi too easily. Yeah. Like, fuck you, dude. God damn it.
Just like the level of self-contradiction that they're out there supporting the president by protesting his guidelines.
Yeah. Yeah, his government are the ones putting this out. I mean, he doesn't abide by it in the slightest. He goes around shaking people's hands because he's a fucking idiot. But, yeah, his government are putting out guidelines to these people like, this is fascism, liberty. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's your own president. If you have a problem with it,
case.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, scoot case. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, I've seen those at airports in Europe, and I was like, "Oh man," because I have a voter.
Terrorists can do a getaway.
That way, yes, they'll just scoot right by you.
Oh, it's
so
just
dangerous.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Because white people on scooters.
Yes. Okay. Well, literally, yes, in a way. But yeah.
Saw this, thought it was adorable. It's hashtag Velociraptor Awareness Day. Please be careful, as the beast can come from anywhere. So, are you ready to watch the Velociraptor here? Oh, no music. No music. Otherwise, we might. Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that dog? It's adorable with a little Velociraptor on its.
When it's at that angle, it looks like the scene from Alien where it bursts out of his chest.
It does a little bit. It could. Yeah. I have to say, Scotties have a bit of an alien thing going on If you just like kind of, because I knew I dated someone whose parents had a couple Scotties actually, and yeah, of course, you kind of like cover their eyes with your hands gently, and then you look at their mouth and they look exactly like the thing from Alien.
Oh, and I love the line, this one almost did an attack, but he managed to be dissuaded by a delicious snack.
So yeah, little things to cheer us up. Okay, here we go. No context, PragerU.
I'm a progressive caricature of a conservative. Okay. Yeah, that's always good.
Something
Nothing will ever beat the left stole my penis.
Yeah, that's true.
That's genius.
That is, yeah, it's a keeper, that one. So this is in response to a story, which was just ridiculous to me. You guys have gone through all this crap for Brexit, right? And British workers aren't, the people hiring for fruit picking won't be flexible about how they hire people. So they're bringing in people from Romania.
Yeah, they've literally flown in planes full of Eastern Europeans.
Yes.
Very dangerous thing to do in this current situation anyway.
Yes.
And the government are like, yeah, that's fine.
Instead of sort of like making it easier
so
for people
back
locally to
control of
work.
our borders, are we?
Yeah, exactly.
Jobs for British people.
Yeah. What's about that? Seriously, what?
Bullshit, man. Which is exactly what we told them would happen.
Yep.
British people don't want to fucking pick fruit. And yet we need fruit picking. That's going to have to continue to happen because we like fruit. We don't want to pick it. Certainly not for the fucking ridiculous wages and conditions you want to offer.
Yeah.
So you've got a choice to be made. And clearly the British people are arseholes.
Yeah. So Data Portal sent this, which is really, really, really...
And to be fair, British companies are even bigger arseholes, but yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. So you want strawberries during the pandemic, but you don't want the jobs picking them? And also, I don't want anyone else taking the jobs.
Exactly my point. Thank you, Milhouse and other mustachioed man, for explaining very succinctly what I took a long time rambling about.
Well, yeah, that was a very memeable. Yes, they made it memeable.
Yeah, exactly.
Hat tip to Data Portal there for that one. See, I notice when you guys like tweet and stuff. Oh yeah, this is just more dumb white people. Oh, okay, here's one of your... I hate the idea of Trump being president another term, but if that's what we need to do to make these people take us seriously, that's what needs to be done. I hate it, but I'm not moving. She votes in Wisconsin.
Okay. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, she's miles away from the kids in cages, so who cares?
Yep.
Why should she give a shit?
And right underneath her is this Neera Tanden got this email from the Bernie Sanders campaign, obviously not from Bernie. But in it, and the third paragraph, he writes, the DNC is the only official party committee that works to elect Democrats at all levels of government across the country. That's important because change always happens from the bottom up. So,
okay.
like, Bernie's getting on board. He sees the big picture. Oh, yeah. So should you.
Oh, yeah, good. I mean, he should. I don't know why he tried to play into the burn it down thing. No, well, he personally didn't really, but why he allowed his surrogates and people like Brianna fucking Joy Gray to be like, oh, burn it down. Fuck this. Why are you doing that? You know that's not going to work. You know how people get elected. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been elected as an independent, but he knows, generally speaking, how the party structure gets people elected. Because there are lots of places in the country where if it weren't for the party structure, they'd crumble. Mm-hmm. Those candidates would have no chance.
Yeah.
There are some places where they'll elect anyone with a D or an R next to their name. If the person's dead, they'll elect that person.
Yes, right.
But in most places, that's not really true.
And you still need to put people on the ground. You still need to campaign. You still need to be viable, at least try to be viable in some places so that you're not just letting the conversation be dominated 100% without any kind of loyal opposition.
And we know that people are swayed in terms of their votes in Congress by the fact that how will this look? Mm-hmm. Because if they're not challenged in their play, they don't need to give a fuck what the people think.
Yep. Yeah.
Whereas if you're viable, you have pressure, and not just that, but for the future, you might not win now.
Exactly.
But if you put the work in now, in 10 years, you might be able to work.
Well, look at this. Right. Here's making your point. A newly released poll has Democrat Cal Cunningham ahead of Trump puppet Tom Tillis by 7 points in North Carolina's Senate race.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Now, North Carolina is not a traditionally go back 30 years.
Yeah. There are a lot of places now that are purple that were dyed in the wool red.
Yep. Oh yeah, the guy COVID-19 is a lie. Reading protective gear also.
Yeah, amazing. All right, we'll take the mask off then, lad.
Yes.
Not a problem, is it?
Oh, and by the way, the Chomsky thing. It's like they are so mad. Chomsky said voting for a liberal is better than fascism, and then there's
exactly bizarre to me that this
there's
is.
Brianna. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah, David Frum, because I don't follow David Frum, but people I know follow, who I follow him.
And you go against Jewish people, really?
He's tweeted out, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to say I agree 100% with Noam Chomsky on this point. Like, what world do we live in?
It's weird times.
Yes.
Very weird times.
Like,
I don't think David Frum and Noam Chomsky would ever agree on
exactly
anything,
right.
Ever.
Yes.
But there we go. Sometimes things are so big and important that you could put aside petty bullshit, Brianna.
Yes, precisely.
Maybe.
Can we just
Peter?
Yeah. Can we focus on keeping the Constitution and then go back to having the fights we were having?
Just keep sanity.
Yeah.
Just keep some level of sanity and respect for yourself. Even if you don't give a fuck about how the world views you. Some self-respect, America, for fuck's sake.
Oh, sorry, I'm switching again because I want to keep the topics moving. But we talked about this privately, but I think it's probably worth having a little conversation about publicly. Because you sent me a link to the Thought Slime video.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, let's have a conversation about this whole thing.
Yeah. Hang on, there was a tweet above it.
Okay, yeah, I can go back see what it was.
I just to get the full thing. Thought Slime. Very interesting. Again, an anarchist, but general leftist YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Makes very good content. And very much not on the dirtbag left, but has for a long time been. And they explain this in their video much more succinctly and frankly.
Which people should go check out their video, by the way. Yeah.
Pardon?
People should go check out their video on their channel.
Absolutely, yeah. And they basically made this thing there. They put out a video which used some ableist language. They got criticised, and they did the very un-YouTube thing of apologising and taking the video down. Which then got the dirtbags, the Voshes, the Coffins, whoever.
Yeah.
Up in arms. Absolutely up in arms. The SJW...
At the ableism? At the ableism, and is that what they were upset about?
No. They were fine with the ableism. They didn't give a fuck about that. In fact, many of them hadn't even seen the video, so couldn't possibly have known. But the point is, the SJWs were silencing poor Thought Slime. It was outrageous. Essentially gaslighting Thought Slime into being like cool with that bullshit. And eventually they've not necessarily snapped, but come to a realization that actually the dirtbag left aren't good.
Yeah.
And so put out this video, and they're very well done. Didn't name any names, but there were certainly strong allusions to the people that were being referenced, and it was very good. So let's have a look at these tweets then, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just about the conversation. The problem is these people now expect other people to apologize for basically doing creative expression they don't personally like. I know that's not your intention.
Show me the Coffin tweet, the first one.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Sorry, right. I appreciate the thought, but I agree with the criticisms and have apologized and move on. I mean, no problem, but I definitely do not agree. Okay. Yeah,
but like, why even bother criticizing someone for an apology? I don't get it.
Well, because you don't apologize. This is the thing. They make...
Yeah, here's the argument.
As I said earlier, I made a joke about Peter not taking criticism well. Thought Slime, by being thoughtful and grown up about this, puts the likes of Coffin and Vosge and Xanderthal, Pig Punch or whatever, puts them in stark contrast as the childish man-baby pricks that they are. They
have a greater ethic.
Yeah. You're letting the side down. You're making us all look bad. Don't apologise for stuff. React like a complete prick and double down on everything.
Complain about cancel culture.
Yeah. And earn the box.
And the Thumblestein here kind of sums up the critique, if you want to call it that. The problem is these people now expect other people to apologize for basically doing creative expression they don't personally like. I know that's not your intention, but overstating the harm is a tactic abusers use, and it's clearly the greater evil here. And then Peter's like, yeah, this. Come on.
Sake. That's ridiculous.
The greater evil is to acknowledge you hurt people's feelings?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, they're saying behaving like an adult
Yeah.
is a tactic that's employed by abusers.
Mm-hmm.
What? Go away. All of you fucking evil little pricks. Go away.
You and I have both had to do apologies, and they're not comfortable, but after you've done them, it feels better to have done it.
Yeah.
It feels better to know that you moved you've moved, above it and beyond it. Go ahead, sorry.
I don't personally even focus on how it makes the individual apologizing feel. It's the fact that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I'm just saying
that's all I've cared about,
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel good in the moment, but yeah, I mean, that's so what.
Right, but I think, afterwards, there is a relief that comes from letting something go when you've just
absolutely. Yeah, you feel better in the long run.
Yeah,
definitely.
And also, if people try to come at you about it, you say, I apologize for that ages ago, and I've learned, I've not done it since, so why are you bringing this up? And that's the best response. So, I mean, you do it because it's the right thing, but also, you can also, like Dusty does, he uses it as a way to teach people, model,
Yes.
I had these views, I was wrong. In my case, I said something and it was not what I really intended and I hurt people. I didn't mean to, and I own that and I'm sorry.
Dusty does extraordinarily good work at times.
Yeah. Agreed.
Even though he used to be a total twat.
Well, so can we, but...
Things change.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but never to the point where I boasted about threatening black people with a knife. That's never happened.
But that was back in the day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, he didn't go out and personally attack a black person or anything like that. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I pulled a knife on a black guy," and was like boasting about it. What a dick!
And he would say that now.
Going and questioning the Holocaust and stuff. He was an arsehole.
Yeah, and he'd be the first to tell you.
He realised he was wrong, apologised, and now works to try and correct some of the fuckery. So awesome. That's an example of where someone who was very much in a rightist mind frame becomes a decent human being, rather than looking for justification and finding Marxism as a way to try and jam it in there.
Data Portal in the chat says, has Kevin just tried just hanging out on Peter's feed and posting "debate me" just to see if he'll bite?
I don't know that I want to debate.
Yeah.
I mean, if the opportunity came up, I might do.
The only thing I'd want to ask him is, if you told us back in October you'd vote for Joe Biden if he was the nominee, and now you're saying you're not going to vote for Joe Biden, why should we ever believe anything you say?
Well, because he'll pretend to be like, "Oh, well, I believe the rape accuser." That's the excuse he'll use.
Okay.
Even though he went back on that before that accusation even arose, but it doesn't matter. It's a stick that people who want to again do the post hoc rationalization will
find a line. Yes, they'll bring up something.
You're not a real feminisms because you don't believe this one woman. Well, I don't not believe or not believe. I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm open to other. They'll call us names. I'm like, I'm not calling her names. I'm just saying I'm not convinced by what I've seen so far.
I'm not saying she's right or not right. I'm not calling her a liar. I'm not calling her anything.
Yep. Just waiting. If someone else comes forward, that's the pattern of Me Too. We know. But anyway. Just this a really excellent point that was made by David Hoffman. If a group of African American men showed up at a state capitol to support Black Lives Matter, and were carrying firearms like this, they'd all be dead.
Yeah, but as June told us, Black Lives Matter is garbage.
So right. Just
yeah, exactly. Imagine a black guy walking through the streets with that. Black people get gunned down for walking through the streets with like a toy gun or a fucking Mars bar.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker's walking down the street with, I don't even know what gun, AK-47 style.
Maybe an AR-15.
Like that's something you see the fucking Taliban using or some shit.
Honestly, yeah.
And he's got like a thing that looks vaguely like a suicide vest as well.
Yes. It looks like he looks like he could have bombs on his person.
And look at these dopey cunts behind him wearing masks.
Again.
Why are you there then? If you know it's a risk, why are you there?
Yeah.
Also, don't you just hate white people with ginger beards? Makes
Those are the worst. Those are the worst. All right, so I don't want to think.
Well, it's always the white guy with the ginger beard who's a complete
twat. Yeah. I was thinking about scrolling up to that picture of the two guys in the mask because I think those people were armed, but I can't be bothered. All right, here's an interesting question. I don't want us to answer the question, what are your 5 perfect movies? But the question I wanted to pose to you and have a conversation about is, what would you even start with when you got a metric of a perfect movie to judge for yourself?
Oh, well, I mean, it depends how much time and effort you want to put into it. There are some, like, you could do a really simple list of films I enjoyed, or something like the films I enjoyed the most.
So the perfect film for you.
Particularly specific, or you could literally break
closer
it down.
Closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry. Or you could do like really break it down and be like, what was my favorite film in terms of cinematography and casting and direction and all that sort of stuff. So it depends how much time you want to put into it.
All right. Well,
really.
Okay.
What would you use as your metric?
See, I think I would probably go immediately to a more like a critical metric. So if I were to say, what are my top 5 perfect movies, I would look for films that, like, what actually leaps to mind is The Hunt for Red October, because of the way that it just ticks along. Like, there isn't a wasted scene or a wasted moment. Yeah. And they're working in with really, confined spaces, and the way that they're able to use lighting and different camera shots to create drama. So then I'm looking, I guess, at more technical. That's what I'm the word I was looking for. A more technical evaluation of a film as a whole, rather than
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. If you want to break it down, if you want to spend the time to break it down, you could do a lot of. You could put together like literally a fucking grid of. You could have a row, list them in order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in terms of like cinematography or use of lighting or whatever, whatever particular tiny little minutiae, sound effect editing and all that sort of stuff. If you wanted to,
I think more of the storytelling.
What would be some of your films that might be a part of the conversation?
Okay, well, I didn't enjoy it at all. But Birdman was really visually quite exciting to watch because of, especially if you do video stuff. I don't know about you, but there are times I'll be watching something and I'll go, oh, they use this angle, or, they use this kind of tracking shot, or whatever to create movement. So that would be it. Another movie that I really liked a lot was Dark City. I don't know if this is a really deep cut. It was Rupert, what was his name? Not Everett, but it was the film that, so I bought the first, I'm really dating myself. Dark City, sorry, let me just look it up. Because I would recommend it to anybody to watch. When I bought a DVD player for the first time, it came as a DVD with the DVD player. I think we got a couple films. But this one had an early commentary track on it. And the commentary track was done by Roger Ebert. It was a talk he gave as an alumni for the film school in Colorado. And in it, he kind of explained like the use of color and the callbacks to other German expressionist films. And a lot of things that like just completely blew my mind, because I'd never... I did political science. Where's the IMDb thing? I can't talk and think and remember at the same time. And it just kind of blew my mind, like the meanings behind it and everything else. Yeah, see, here's the Roger Ebert one. And it's got Kiefer Sutherland. Who else is in it? And it's just really, really good. I would also like put maybe 12 Monkeys up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good film.
So I'm trying to, it's going to bother me.
White Chicks.
Yeah. So having ummed and awed through that. Rufus Sewell. It was not even a Rupert. It was a Rufus.
A great film, Red, starring John Malkovich and
Bruce Willis.
And Bruce Willis. Yeah.
But seriously,
superbly paced film. Really judged the seriousness of the subject matter. No, serious.
I'm gonna try to get some film images. I'll just have to do.
Oh god, what am I really grateful? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is an amazing film.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Love that flick. Dark and brutal, and I think it's arguably one of what's his fucking name? I've totally forgotten his name. His performances.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. Fuck's sake, Kev. Yeah, one of Jack Nicholson's best performances. Absolutely superb. Yeah, I quite film a really a weird niche film, but I really loved, even though it's so poorly made in some respects. But it's such an engrossing, stupid film, but really serious at the same time. A film called Warriors.
Oh, the 1980s film with like the group or gang of boys or whatever.
Yeah, the gang. Yeah. That's it's so stupid, but it's an amazing film. Because it's so you really do get buy into this weird dystopian thing they've got going on, and the fact that there are 4 of them and stuff, and it's a superb movie.
By the way, on the screen, sorry to interrupt you, but I just did.
Yeah.
This is some of the stills from Dark City. So, what's the name of the German expressionist filmmaker? Is it Fritz?
Werner Herzog.
No, much earlier, like Black and White. That's there you go. That's the main protagonist in it. He did Metropolis.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, I know you're talking.
So if you've seen Metropolis, you can see this is really an homage. It's highly influenced by that sort of film. All right, now we're going to have to look up Metropolis. It's just going to call just call it Looking Things Up on Google. There we go. There's a Metropolis cinema in Cologne, by the way.
Oh, is that? Okay.
But that's not the one we want. We want the film. Yes.
Fritz Lang.
Yes, Fritz Lang. That's the one.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very famous, influential German expressionism. Get out of my face, Amazon assistant. Piss off.
Alexa, fuck you.
Yes. All right. So sorry, I interrupted your flow about films. You were on The Warriors.
The Warriors, yeah. I mean, I don't know that would actually make the top 5, but it's a very good film. What else? I'm trying to think.
It's hard to do on the top. That's kind of what I want to talk about. The categories more than the films themselves.
Yeah. Oh god, this is a bit cheesy, but I quite like the Titanic, the DiCaprio Winslet one.
Oh,
I thought that was quite a good film, actually.
When I saw it in the cinema, I cried my eyes out.
Of course,
baby.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite good because it shows you. I mean, I'm not sure I totally believe the story, and also it's got Winslet tits in it, so
plus, right?
Lovely stuff, and they're fucking. Yeah, I mean, you just see the hand on the screen, but it's iconic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some more modern ones that people will have seen.
I liked Lost in Translation a lot. I thought that was.
I told you about that, didn't I? My story of Lost in Translation.
Well, I don't know if you've told everybody in the chat. So.
Oh, okay. I went to see that when it was out in the cinema because I'm that old, and I was dating a girl, and we went together, and we got so bored that we left halfway through because I wanted to go and fuck her, which is fun, and we did, and I enjoyed it enormously. And I'm not sure what she did though, to be fair, because I was a 18-year-old or whatever at the time. Yeah, and so that happened, and then a few years later, I sat down. It was on TV, and I sat down to watch it again, and I thought, this film's amazing. I was a total douche. Why didn't I like this film? This is amazing. Anyway, so that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great film, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I want to another just because we're on Bill Murray. I love Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, it's kind of a weird, when you talk about classic films, usually comedy is sort of a separate genre, but Groundhog Day, because it became so culturally referential. Well,
I don't know. I don't know why comedy has to be seen in that way. I don't know why you can't have a great comedy film as well.
But I don't think comedy has the long-term impact that drama does.
No, it doesn't. No.
But in the case of Groundhog Day, that's a sort of exception that proves the rule.
Well, this is a question then, to broaden it out slightly. Why is long-term cultural impact, an important characteristic in what you would consider to be a perfect film?
Because it like The Matrix would be an example. It becomes a turning point in the way people who make movies think about representing something. And there's a sort of before and after. You can sort of see that change almost culturally in how cinema acts after that first thing, I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
And Groundhog Day does that because it taps into something about ourselves that we wish we had the chance to do things over and make them better. But also the ridiculousness of the situation as well to lend the comedy. So, because he dies all the time, so it would be really depressing.
I tell you what, great. It doesn't necessarily fulfill the role you just mentioned, but we talked about Jack Nicholson and we've talked about comedy. A really, really underrated Nicholson flick was About Schmidt.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is underrated.
I don't know if you've seen that with Kathy
Bates
and who's the guy? He finds basically it's a very funny. He just takes a road trip to visit his kid and stuff, but he finds out that his wife was fucking his best friend, even though she's now dead. He finds out through like love letters they'd sent to each other and stuff. It's an amazing film, and the scene that Kathy Bates gets into the fucking hot tub with him is I can never not watch it and think to myself, this isn't one of the stupidest, most cringy, funny things. It's so funny. The acting between the two of them is brilliant. I love it. It's a fantastic scene in a very good film. Yeah. Another Nicholson. I'm sorry to go on a Nicholson.
But I'm just going to throw out Shallow Graves because we should come back to that because they're right. That is a damn good film.
Fuck's sake! As Good as It Gets.
Yeah, a classic.
Amazing film. What's the woman's name who plays in that?
Helen.
Kathy Bates is in that as well.
But she's not the main one, right?
No, she's the.
Is that the one with Helen? What's her name?
Helen Hunt.
Yes, Hunt.
Yeah.
Such an easy last name. Just slipped off my brain.
Yeah.
People.
The scene that sparks it off. Sparks off the title of the film where he goes into his therapist's office and he refuses to see him and he just walks out. It's such a cruel and horrible thing to say, but it so perfectly sums up the human condition, I suppose, where he turns to the other patients who are obviously all to some extent mentally ill and just says, have you ever thought to yourself, what if this is as good as it gets? And they all look at each other and it's brilliant. It asks a million questions in one tiny little line. And that's a film where comedy mixed with huge amounts of sadness and pathos and all the rest of it, can be brilliant and can sum up a certain cultural zeitgeist and can change the way in which films get made.
Just on a not culturally shifting film, but just a good film, Shallow Grave. Have you seen it?
Have I seen that one?
It's got Ewan McGregor. It takes place in like an apartment, basically. Again, it's like a 90s movie, I want to say. And it was set, I think, in Edinburgh, maybe Glasgow. But
The Deer Hunter, another great flick from the chat. Sorry. Yeah.
I haven't seen that. Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, that's another clock ticking. Silence of the Lambs is like Hunt for Red October in terms of its pacing.
The very first scene where she walks into to the thing, and obviously there's the guy going about trying to fuck her and stuff, but she just goes to the scene and you just see Hannibal Lecter just standing there.
Yep.
It's so unbelievably creepy and brilliant. It's an amazing scene.
It was. I remember, living through when that film came out and how people really just were taken with the Hannibal Lecter character, but then were disgusted at themselves for like finding him so intriguing. And it was, it was really a good baddie in that it's a kind of baddie that makes the heroine or the hero look better.
Saw the follow-up that was made.
They were so awful.
Red Dragon or whatever.
Well, there was a prequel which was Red Dragon, but they did make a sequel to Hannibal, which was based on the book, which was awful.
Yeah.
But
it does explore the nature of the character. It is, by the way, it is a dreadful film, but it does explore the nature of the character a bit more, and I found that quite interesting actually.
That's the one with Ed Norton.
Learned character. He lives in Milan or somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Ed Norton?
Yes.
The Red Dragon, yeah. Because I think there might have been.
He ends up. He kills and eats the guy based on historical.
Yeah.
Great granddad was was killed or something and eaten, cannibalized. And he cooks his brain.
Yeah, Ray Liotta, right?
It's actually really creepy where he's eating the guy's brain.
I know.
On a plane. Brain on a Plane, the sequel to Snakes on a Plane, which is, by the way, arguably the worst film ever made. No, actually, that's not true. Red, we mentioned it. He's eating the brain, but you can't tell it's a brain, it's just some meat or whatever. And the little Japanese kid or whatever, reaches over and goes, "Oh, can I try something?" And he feeds the kid a little bit of brain.
It's only a movie.
I know, but
still,
willing suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
I believed that was it was a real kid and a real male human actor feeding a kid a bit of brain. Anyway, that's a thing.
Yeah, so someone mentioned, Fight Club. By the way, if you read the book, Fight Club,
amazing film, yes.
They said it was shite. Again, that one was culturally influential, and it had
that's exactly what I mean, yeah. It was, I mean, it was completely changes the ending, which fucks things up. Because the end from the book, by the way, where the
spoiler alert. How does the book end?
Well, spoiler alert. It's been out forever.
Remember. Yeah.
Anyway, you find out that because he's clearly mentally ill, obviously, enormously, and he gets institutionalized because he can't be trusted on the outside, obviously, because he's very, very dangerous. Which shows you which the whole point of Chuck Palahniuk was trying to make about the fact that this kind of toxic brew of negativity and victimization and all the rest of it, self-victimization and victim mentality, is fundamentally eats away at the very inside of a person, and they become this tortured monster, right? But at the end, and by the way, the terrorist attack gets thwarted and he gets institutionalized. That's the important double whammy. He's unsuccessful in his ultimate goal, and he gets found out and realised he's, a dangerous monster, frankly. Whereas in the film, the terrorist attack is successful, the buildings get blown up.
Correct. And there's sort of a happy ending. Not only does he not get institutionalised, he gets to be like the hero character who also then gets to fuck the now not insane, apparently, Helena Bonham Carter. Yeah, they're all messed up. There's all kinds of messed up people in that film.
Yeah, so so the ending fucks it up, but it's actually a good film, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
and it's got fucking Meatloaf as bitch tits.
Yes,
amazing.
It does. That I remember very distinctly watching Fight Club, and there's a scene where he's talking about, it's the early on scene when he's talking about his life, and he's got an IKEA catalog, and he basically they have this pan shot where they fill up a room like it looks like an IKEA catalog. And I guess that was probably maybe influenced by MTV videos or something. But in terms of cinema, I remember thinking that was quite original. And, and also they have some interesting camera work. And the psychology of the film, if you haven't read the books, you watch it kind of one way the first time, and then you watch it a different way the second time. Also, The Sixth Sense has that characteristic, and I like that in a film. I like a film that you watch sort of not knowing, and then you watch knowing, and you can kind of get two different movies out of it. I think that's smart script writing, personally.
Yeah, I think so.
It's very hard to do, but it can be done. It's work, but what else? Birdemic. Someone was saying the worst movie was Birdemic. No, we all know the worst movie is The Room.
No, the worst movie ever. And it got a sequel, Sharknado.
Yeah. That got
a tornado with sharks in it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, La Femme Nikita, that's always a foreign classic, as well as Das Boot, which I don't want to, I have this sort of phobia of a place filling up with water when it's dark, so I tend to stay away from submarine movies, with the exception of The Hunt for Red October, see above. So, all right, are we done with this topic? Should we do some quiz?
I think so, yes.
But that was a nice little, completely...
That was a nice bit of culture. We are culture vultures, as you well know.
I thought it would spark an interesting conversation.
I very rarely show anyone that side, because it's the internet. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Thoughtful critique of music, of film and stuff is not what YouTube is good at.
Well, at least, hey, you want to watch us?
Yes, I do.
Hey, Jimmy. Oh, there we go. He's got
Leftist who let the side down. Oh, I actually want to watch that. Anti-social media is very good.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr.
Shut up, Jimmy. Don't want to know. All right. Yeah, should we just do the most recent one?
Yeah, fuck it. Sexy dancing.
Violent, sexy dancing. Yeah, there are people who have actual degrees in film studies and stuff that you can watch do way more interesting conversations than us talking about it. But it is Operation Distraction. So.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to mute him and we're just going to drag, right? That's all we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So, getting ready for... Yep.
Okay. Which is the only animal with 4 forward-facing knees?
The only...
the cow.
I'm thinking a cow as well, actually.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think they've got forward-facing. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of cows.
2 humans sewn
down
together.
I mean, but no, because horses, their legs go back, don't they? Well, are their knees facing forward or backwards?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm not a veterinarian. I didn't study animals.
Some people are saying elephant.
Yeah, camel.
Elephant, camel, rabbit with one B. Elephant. People are saying elephant. So okay.
All right.
Cow. Okay.
Question mark doesn't help, Ramona. We don't know either. So answer with confidence. Don't put camel. No, stop with the question marks. A cow can't go downstairs. Thank you, Ramona. All right. So we're gonna say elephant.
If you wanna, I don't fucking care.
I'm just like a cow can't go downstairs.
Yeah.
Neither can a Dalek.
That's not the question, is it? Really?
Yeah. What is the stiletto named after? Isn't it a dagger?
I thought I was fucking reading these.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, if you want to take over, I don't care. But
no, I was just thinking. I was reading ahead.
What is the stiletto named after?
Do you think I'm right? Do you think it's named after a dagger?
It's a dagger, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, maybe I just said that and put that answer in your mind and it's wrong. In which case, I'll have to own the L. I'll take the L on that one.
Okay. She usually takes the D. Which mountain group separates Europa from Asia?
Isn't that the Caucasus? I don't know. I didn't grow up here. I know the Rockies.
It says which mountain group. So that would be the Caucasus, yeah. But isn't also the Ural Mountain the separation of, or is that part of the Caucasus? I don't even know. It's what separates European Russia from Asian Russia, isn't it?
You're asking the wrong person. I can tell you about like the Appalachian Trail. We didn't.
Someone's saying the Alps, which is obviously wrong.
Alps.
A lot of people are saying Urals. Okay.
The Urals. Okay. Well, it's
that's the ones just behind Moscow that run across. Like I say, separate Russia from the European.
Well, then that would be Europe from Asia, because I think Russia is technically Asia. I don't know. Russia.
The Caucasus also works because Georgia's part of Europe, isn't it? That's in the Caucasus. I don't know. Anyway,
we'll go with the Urals because they sound farther west or east. No west. No east. I can't know east. I can't tell my left from my right, let alone 4 directions.
We've all heard of Al Capone, but what was Al short for?
Alfonso? Alan
Capone. Yeah, he was famous.
Someone also said Alfonso in the chat.
Well, they're saying Alphonse.
Alphonse? Oh, okay, what
Well, I don't know.
Close enough.
Alfred.
Definitely not Alfred.
Name 4 of the 6 costumes worn by the classic lineup of the Village People. Well,
right.
We'll get to that in a second. But did you know only one of the Village People was actually gay?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, only one of them. I can't remember which one, but I remember reading specifically that only one of them was actually gay.
Yeah.
They were all pretending to be gay for pay.
You did not read that in the article.
No, I'm adding that extra line in.
Okay, all right.
But that's essentially the summation of the point that we're making.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's construction worker, Indian, which is obviously not racially insensitive.
Yeah, I couldn't do that anymore. It's a bit embarrassing. Yeah, there's a cop.
Black cop.
Okay, so you heard a
construction worker.
You said that one already, didn't you?
Did I?
I don't know. I thought that was the first one you said.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
But maybe it's because that was the first one I was thinking of.
So, hang on. Okay. Well, we'll start again. Construction worker, Indian, police officer. Oh, shit.
Someone in the chat said cowboy. 2 people said cowboy. One person said fireman. Sailor. Pretty sure one was a sailor.
Yeah.
Biker. Biker builder, Native American. Fireman, Navy sailor. Dalek.
Furry in a squirrel costume.
No. I think we've got enough possibilities there.
Grumpy. Rock.
Sneezy.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
What's this?
What's
the question?
Name the film.
Where's my... Oh, well, this... Yeah, I know this one.
Oh, I know the last one.
Well, I know, yeah.
Oh, so okay, yeah.
My watch. Ezekiel 25:17.
I know this.
Out the game.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction, obviously. Yep. This is kind of like the game we were playing before off air.
Oh, yeah, Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah, and the path of the righteous man shall be beset.
Down with for something vengeance. And you will know I am the Lord, and then shoots him.
When I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I was telling Kevin, when I was growing up, we lived out in the country. So it was to get from my house and pick up all the other kids and get to school was like a 40-minute ride.
Fuck that.
Each way.
Is it worth it for the American education system, really?
Well, I turned out okay. You know what the weirdest thing was? Complete aside, not about this game, complete aside. So normally we had, I rode bus number 47, and the driver was Pete. And every day when I got on, I said, hi, Pete. And every day when I got off, I said, bye, Pete. And so, but occasionally we would have
it turned out that Pete was secretly a mass murderer.
No. Pete was a lovely man. he was a darling. And he kept us safe. No
Pete
accidents.
Went on to be Albert Einstein.
Yeah. What was it? 1st grade to 6th grade? No accidents. So Pete did his job well. But occasionally we would have...
There were no other cars in Wisconsin. How could he have had an accident?
Well, there's still winter. We had to go to school in December and January and February and March.
Well, you could argue that they were plural.
What were plural?
Winter.
Well, yes, they were winters. Right. Anyway.
No, because you're winters.
I know.
Plural, never mind.
I'm trying to get to my story.
Well, this is going to be shit. Whatever it is, it's not going to live up to my pun there.
To my name pun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Your name is an endless source of punnery.
It is. It's very... I wanted to do something wintry, but I couldn't think of anything. I'm not that clever, and it's late. But Pete would drive every day, and we'd pick up the kids and do the same route, however you want to say it, every day. But occasionally we would have substitute bus drivers. And in those cases, the drivers had no idea where they were going. So they'd call up like a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old, and they'd sit next to the driver, and they'd give them the directions to drop off every single kid on the bus behind them. And then the driver would make their way home. Oh. And it was just weird to me, 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds were perfectly directing them. Stop here, now drive here, now do a circle because we got to back out and all kinds of stuff. Crazy. But anyway, we had a lot of time to kill on the bus. One of the games that we would play is we'd watch a movie because we had, VCRs or whatever, and we'd watch them over and over and over again because what else are you going to do? And memorize a lot of lines, and you'd give 3 lines from a movie, and for each line you have a guess.
Yeah, they didn't make you watch Pulp Fiction, did they?
No, but it's the same principle.
And that's not appropriate fare for a bus of school children.
It's the same principle. So basically, I'm going to rock, if I've seen this movie, I'm going to rock this category.
Yeah. So we've got Cooking with Colette, The Exterminator, The Restaurant Review.
Cooking with Colette. No, I don't think I've seen this one. Not ringing any bells.
Hang on. These aren't quotes, are they? These are
things that are happening in
chapters,
the movie.
Or something, like DVD chapters or something. I think.
Well, name that film. The Restaurant. Cooking with Colette. I can't think of any movie I've seen with a character named Colette other than maybe The Sixth Sense. But that's not this one.
Yeah, I don't remember The Restaurant Review.
No. All right, so maybe...
I don't know.
Wait,
No.
maybe someone in the chat will throw some stuff out. So number 7, put number 7 before you put your answer.
Christmas morning, I'm the man of the house. I made my family disappear. Oh, this one's obvious.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I think even I know this one.
Go on then.
Is it Home Alone?
It looks like it.
Yeah, it does. People in the chat are saying Ratatouille for the other one. The restaurant review. That would make sense if it's Ratatouille.
Yeah.
It also makes sense because I haven't seen it.
Well, pronounce it correctly for a start.
How do you pronounce it?
Ratatouille.
Oh, Tui. Sorry, I was putting the L's
It's
in.
French, Kristi, please.
Tui.
You've been in Europe long enough now. There's no excuse.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like you speak French.
I do.
All right.
I speak the French. See?
All right.
Shut up, Rory Cats.
Okay, 3 more.
Shit sandwich. Sexist or sexy, it's one louder, isn't it?
I think I guessed it only from the last line.
From the last one, yeah.
Yeah, this is... You go ahead.
This is good. And this, again, comedy that has a cultural impact and changes the way films get made.
Yes, yeah.
Spinal Tap.
Yes, that's one.
Oh, this is Spinal Tap.
This is good. They should do this all the time. I like this.
Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. I think I may have seen this one. We've got Punxsutawney, Phil kidnaps Phil, and I Got You, Babe.
Would that be the movie? Oh, you do it, Kevin.
I think this one might be some sort of film where maybe a young Bill Murray works for a TV crew, goes to the town of Punxsutawney.
Is he a weatherman by chance in this story?
I believe he is, yes. And I believe he's going there to do a piece on Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog who eats pizza while teasing dogs. Oh, that's a different one. Yeah, this is
groundhog did not give a fuck. No.
Yeah. This is Groundhog Day, which is a film I literally just mentioned. So that's why me and Kristi laughed.
Yes, that's pretty hilarious. Okay, so now we get the answers.
So we get the answers. Shut up, Jimmy, you utter knob.
Yep, and we're also going to double your speed because we only really need to see it for a few seconds.
Yep.
And we'll cut it down from 3 minutes of Jimmy to, elephants. People in the chat.
Well done, Chatteroo.
Got that right. 2 weapon.
Was that dagger?
Oh, a weapon. Okay, yeah. Okay, that counts. A weapon is a dagger.
Yeah,
so we were in the right part. We were in the right ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
The Euro.
Again,
cool.
Thanks for the assist from the chat. Well done.
No, I said Urals.
You did. You offered it, but you also, I said Caucasus. You said Urals. So.
I think it's both. I still think it's both.
Alfonso.
Alphonse. Which is, of course, was short for Alphonse.
But I think in Italy is kind of, I think Italian is also like German in that they actually pronounce the letters and we make the E silent. So I think it's Alfonso. But I could be wrong.
He was American.
Right, fair enough.
Biker, sailor, cop, construction worker, cowboy, Native American.
Yep. We had at least 4 of those. So full points.
So.
Full points.
Although Duck and Sneezy were missing.
Pulp Fiction. Yep, got that right. See if Ratatouille comes up next. If I remember number 7. Yes, thank you, chat.
Okay.
Covering our gaps in our knowledge. Of course, Home Alone. Chat.
No one cares about your opinions on films.
No.
Spinal Tap.
Yep.
And I think we've got the last one.
Oh, I think that one we might have to do that one again.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
To get it right. See what I did there? I did a meta joke.
I see what you did. I got you, babe.
Well, I think on that bombshell, I don't think.
Yes.
That seems like a good way to wrap it up. Because again, my legs are getting tired, and I think we've done 2 hours. Yeah, just about 2 hours. That's enough for the peoples. We don't want to blow all the quizzes. The lockdown might go for a while. And we might have a show where we don't have a 20-minute sidebar about films, and we do like 3 quizzes in a row. So.
Or a 20-minute sidebar when I'm talking about foreigners.
Or that, to start the show. People show up looking for Peter Coffin. They get you talking about hassling foreign people.
I wouldn't say hassling. I'd say stalking.
All right. Okay. Just a little bit of light stalking.
I think it's different. I think that's different.
Yes. Yeah. So chances are, though you wear a silly face, can't remember. Silly Grin? Can't remember where that line goes.
I
Probably.
don't know what the fuck I don't know what that was.
Chances are is an old-timey song.
Oh, okay.
Also the title of a movie starring, who's Iron Man? Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, okay. Well,
Where he comes back and has like...
I have to say, Robert Downey Jr. might be my... Oh, this is going to be harsh.
Ooh.
I think he might be the most overrated actor of his generation.
I'm not going to fight you on that. Like, I'm just going to say, I think that there are more overrated actors, but he would be a contender.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying he's necessarily a terrible actor.
No.
But he gets given huge roles all the time. You think, I'm not sure.
Well, he kind of plays a type. If you look at
he plays
Sherlock
Robert Downey
Holmes.
Jr.
Yeah. But he plays it so well. He's kind of like George Clooney in that way. Clooney...
Other than Tropic Thunder, where he plays the black guy. But that's because he puts on an accent of a black guy.
Yeah, that was definitely out of the box kind of against type for him. Yeah. But was it really? At the end of the day, the fundamental character had like an ego issue, right?
Yeah.
And that's the character he plays, guys with egos. Yeah. So, I mean, he's good at it. I don't want to take away. I mean, I think he brought some, what do they call it, pathos to the Iron Man stories. You know, and especially his emotional arc from where he started to where he ends up as a character. He did a very good job of carrying that along 20 films.
Jim Carrey's overrated. Again, true. And again, plays one character.
Yes, that's except for in Eternal Sunshine.
No range. If you've got no... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are the occasional.
But then again, is he playing kind of to the same type in just a drama? I don't know. Yeah, Jim Carrey. I can see how. Yeah, a bit overrated. Probably.
Hang on, you take that back to better Holmes than Cumberbatch. Suck a dick.
No way. Okay, Cumberbatch should not be blamed for the shitty writing of.
Yeah, exactly.
What's his name?
He did a very fine job trying to salvage that nonsense.
Yeah, he made it. He put lipstick on that narrative pig. Yeah, and also, he's just so hot that I kind of get distracted. I'm like, oh,
you do like a posh English lad.
I do. I guess.
Like every American.
I think there's one scene where he's wrapped up in a sheet. In one of the Holmes episodes. So, Dr. Dolittle, who was a genius. John Wayne overrated, yeah. Oh, another good, well, I guess, I don't know, Coen Brothers, can you pick a Coen Brothers film? I think you just have to talk about them as a genre, as opposed to, yeah. But anyway, we were going to go, because my knees are aching and my legs are going numb, because I've been sat in one position.
I'll have that effect on the ladies.
Yes. So yeah, probably I would imagine, like, either tomorrow night, or depending on the news, or even Tuesday or Wednesday, we will be back here with more Operation Distraction, because I need this. So, I don't know about the rest of you. Anything you want to plug other than Thought Slime's video? There's a lot of S's in that.
Well, I want to plug all of the people of the Caribbean who definitely
want to plug them with what?
No, I want to plug just
you want to pick them up. You want to like okay.
Help me, please.
Oh, you want to beg?
Don't make me do the racist accent, please.
Please don't. Please find somebody who has like lived there, or you know, they might not currently have the accent, but they lived there at one time. You know, people can change their accents when they go home, kind of thing.
Well, sort of like my dad. He's got a generally quite a mild accent because he moved from Ireland like 40 fucking years ago. Actually more than that. But anyway, yeah. But when he gets angry or drunk, so especially when he's drunk and angry, he becomes more Irish. He becomes so Irish that Irish people would side eye him. As if he's an Englishman taking the piss. Too Irish.
Yeah, I dated a guy who was from Sunderland who, you know, when we were at university, he sounded like a generic sort of Southerner, but you get him up home with his family and it was...
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. And I also had a friend/colleague who talked about deliberately losing his Yorkshire accent, you know, when he went to university, because he came back from a break and someone had hung some Christmas stuff up and he's like, who had put up the tinsel? But he said it with a Yorkshire accent, which was mostly T sounds. And they all just fell about the place laughing at his accent. He's like, that's it. People
don't realise this, but Patrick Stewart was a Yorkshireman and a working class lad as well.
Really?
Before he became like an actor and got elocution lessons and all that, he would speak like that.
Wow, I can't picture that.
Yeah, exactly. It's mad, isn't it? But yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something along like a who put up the tinsel or something. It was just basically all T sounds. Yeah. I can hear it in my head, but I can't reproduce it because Yorkshire is...
Going to the shops. Aye. There's no telling a Yorkshireman. I like what I say and I say what I like.
Isn't there a Yorkshireman skit? That's a little bit...
There's the Four Yorkshiremen, the Monty Python bit.
Yes. Yeah, but isn't there also one... Oh, no, you know what I think it was? I think I saw the Four Yorkshiremen as part of like the Secret Policeman's Ball or something performed by 4 other characters.
Yeah. Well, it would have to be because, of course, your man's dead, isn't he?
Yeah. Graham.
Graham. Graham Abdul Muhammad.
Dave. That's horrible. That's horrible that I can't remember her name, but it's also like almost midnight here and I'm really tired.
Chapman.
Graham Chapman. Yes. We'll have to maybe look at the Yorkshireman or I'll tweet it out.
Well, and of course now the other one. Oh, fuck's sake. So I've forgotten Graham Chapman's name. I've forgotten
you're thinking of
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Who's getting old around here? Both of us. You're thinking of
just small niche figures that no one's ever heard of, like Jack Nicholson. I couldn't fucking remember tonight.
Terry. It wasn't
Terry,
not Terry Gilliam. Terry Jones.
No, Terry Gilliam's still around.
Yes.
Terry Jones.
Yeah.
Who passed late last year, was it?
Yeah, or early this year.
I can't remember.
For Yorkshireman Alan Rickman. Yes. Sorry, I'm going to drag this over.
Well, he's dead as well. Fuck's sake. Oh,
this is
Jesus.
so morbid. Yeah, here we go. Oh my gosh.
With Eddie Izzard?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, we can't, I'm sure for copyright reasons, but I will tweet this out. Harry Enfield, Alan Rickman, Eddie Izzard, and Vic Reeves.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because Vic Reeves...
I think Vic Reeves is actually yours.
Yeah, I think he is. So he's going to be
really... he's the only one of them that actually is.
So this is what I saw. This was been ages ago, but it made an impression in my mind.
Of course it is. Look how young Eddie Izzard is in that. That's got to be like fucking early 2000s.
Yeah, it says 2007.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, well, at least that's when it was uploaded, but I don't know. So,
so it wasn't that long ago then. Okay.
Well, like...
I was thinking like 2002 or something.
Okay, not quite 20 years old, but 15 almost. 13 years old, whatever. Okay, so I'll tweet this out.
Oh God, I was in my first year at college.
In 2007?
No, well, yeah, but not by August I was going into my second, if that makes sense.
Okay.
6 to 7.
I was doing my PhD.
I remember it because England got knocked out cruelly, unfairly by Germany in the World Cup, and then over to you,
And things are sports like timed in your life, aren't they? For me, it's elections. Like, it was the 2005 British election, and I was working on that, or it was the 1998 election, or whatever else.
I remember that as well, but I remember it in conjunction. So, like 2005, right? General election in the UK, and England won the Ashes.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Big year.
I remember watching the UEFA Cup in 2004. That's when I first watched EastEnders.
UEFA Cup?
Wasn't that the one where England lost in penalty shootout?
Oh, the European Championships.
Sorry, European Championships. Sorry, there's a lot of different football things that happen on even numbered years.
I'm trying to explain that to Americans, like, yeah, there's a competition, but it's a different competition, but the same teams in the same year.
And then sometimes it's different players in different teams, but they're playing kind of against their mates.
Exactly, yeah.
Because they're playing by countries, not by teams.
Exactly, yeah. So they'll play for different teams, but then they'll play with the same players against other players.
It's really, really, really confusing.
And then there's a sport where they play for 5 days and you don't necessarily get a result. Fuck off! That's the thing that comes up in my series, in the episode I'm doing at the minute.
Golf? No, wait. What was that? Cricket.
The idea of the test, because it's about cricket.
Yeah, cricket. I was thinking about the Robert Williams golf jokes. Sidestep. Go ahead. Cricket.
Yeah, I just briefly mentioned that it's 5 days and that Americans don't like it.
Yeah, we have no patience for that.
Yeah.
None.
Like you can play for an hour and you have to have a result.
Well, okay, if you spread an hour out over 3 quarters, 3 quarters.
Well, no, I suppose you can have a tie, can't you, in the NFL?
Yeah, and also baseball was around before. Yeah, baseball is sort of a timeless game in that it's not timed at all. It could, in theory, go on infinitely.
They're trying to speed it up, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Stop being annoying. Make them do an intentional walk.
Throw the ball. It's what you get paid for.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Oh, my arm's sore. I don't fucking care. Deal with it.
Also, keep the statistics the same, you know? Like, you have to throw all the same pitches everybody threw before you. Like, it has to be the same.
Exactly. How do you judge otherwise?
Yeah. And that's what we really care about is stats.
That's the beauty of cricket and baseball and football to a certain extent, is they've been around long enough now where if someone breaks a record, that really means something.
Yeah.
They've beaten 150 years or 100 years of history. That means something.
Yeah, as opposed to like, oh my gosh, this is the first year that the person who won the Iowa caucuses didn't go on to win the nomination. Yeah, that's been happening for like, 40 years? So what?
Yeah.
It's not, this happened, so many times in the last 40 years?
Well, the thing with when Ricky Gervais was good, he said he broke the record for the most downloaded podcast ever, and he was like, no one cares, it's been around 2 seconds. Well, that's not a record, that's nothing. And I was like, yeah, fair point.
Yep. All right, I want to eat this Dansak, which I'll do on screen with you because I want us to watch the 4 Yorkshiremen together off air, but we're going to do that privately. So the rest of you, if you want to go watch...
I'm going to nip for a piss before we do.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to eat my Dansak while you do that.
In the chat that I needed a piss
well, normally you just tell me that.
It's training. I hope you all know that.
Normally that's just me. This is why I go before the show. This is why I always...
drink all the way through the show.
Yeah,
I don't talk a lot in my life, you understand.
Okay.
So my voice gets sore.
To be fair, I have half a liter, but I've only drunk half of it because I've been pacing myself. So I've only had a quarter of a liter. Anyway, we're going to end the stream so you can go and have whatever you need to do, and then I'll set up the video and have some downside.
Well, no, don't say whatever I need to do. I'm not going to nip up and have a quick wank. I'm going to need a piss.
Okay, that's what you say.
And then I might have a wank. I don't know.
Wash your hands twice.
No. You don't need to wash your hands. If you're going to have a wank straight afterwards, you don't need to wash your hands between the piss and the wank.
Because you've already touched it.
I feel like you can get, exactly. It's the same cock sweat. Who cares?
And on that bombshell.
It's the same cock sweat. Kev Logan, 2020.
That's a t-shirt
you
for
can
you.
Quote me on that.
They will.
There's my epitaph written.
Thanks to people in the chat for all your helpful answers, and some of the unhelpful ones too. At least you're participating, you're trying.
Especially the unhelpful ones.
Well, the ones who go like, cow? Like, well, if you don't know, why you're not making me more confident. No, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Thank you for that.
Bollock, yes. All right. So thanks to people in the chat. Thanks as ever to my co-host Kevin for all of the dick jokes and all of the punnery and all of the other facts and stats that you bring to the game.
And schooling you on comedy in film.
Sometimes
School.
Not.
You got owned, Kristi. Deal with it.
Oh, I don't remember that already. Okay. Goodbye from me. Goodbye from Kev.
Debate me on it then. Debate
me. Say, debate me, Kev.
Debate me, Kev.
Bye, everyone.
That was the weirdest bit ever.
That was quite weird.